Some time ago, Birgit from Lomo reached out to see if I'd like to try a new film that they were cooking up in their film drug lab. And when I hear the whisperings of new and film in the same sentence, I get as giddy as a gorilla flinging his own poo. So naturally, I said yes and eagerly sent them my whereabouts. So technically, there's nothing stopping them from randomly just sending me some free shit. And at that exact moment in time, my VFX life called me to Atlanta for another gig. So you know what that means. Not only do you get my travels to Atlanta, but a look at a new film from Lomo. Yeah, that's a win-win situation. Behold, LomoChrome 92. Welcome to my new digs for 2 weeks. I had just arrived in Atlanta, so here I am. This is a pretty big place all to myself. I mean, I guess it is an extended stay, so they need to put some couches here. You know, you don't always want to sit on the bed. Sometimes you just want to lay on the couch. But I'm not hating it so far. This not being my first rodeo, I knew this week of production would see some cray-cray hours, and I wouldn't be able to witness the sun. So that means I would have to utilize the week of pre-production to get all my shooting done. We are gonna do a lot of shooting, okay? Really? Oh, hey, good morning. Are you ready to go shoot? Yeah, I know you've been waiting all week. Let's go. Okay, so today is Good Friday because I put some new Lomo film in that I'm gonna be testing. Super excited. But before I do that, you know what I gotta do first. Come on, say it with me. Barbecue, baby!
Starting route to Fox Bros.
Now, let me start out with some basics of this new film. It's a color negative ISO 400 film, capable of none other than taking some photographic images. Yeah, that's right. Once I got my hands on this stock, I was told that this film loves light more than your dying houseplants. So with that information, I decided to overexpose the film by one stop. I mean, overall, it can't hurt, especially for color negative. Positive film? I don't know. One stop over could be just treacherous. I also need to keep in mind that later today, I would have a date with one of the biggest camera resellers in the market, KEH. And boy, did they have a surprise for me. Not that I hang out in cemeteries often, but I did notice a lot of mother and father gravestones without any names. Sad, but yeah, kind of poetic. I mean, what are we in the end anyways? Mine will probably just say mediocre film photographer.
This last photo I took here was a bit underexposed, but ultimately one of my favorite from the cemetery. I love the fence holding together the family inside, and I think that underexposure actually kind of goes well with the image overall. The first thing that I noticed from these first few images is that I should have exposed for the shadows. Depending on the dynamic range of the scene, your blacks will go pretty fast. Also, another thing that I noticed was this film has grain of 4 days. It kind of reminds me of a slightly expired film stock, but with some nice highlights.
Okay, are you ready? We're going to KEH. Isn't that fun? Don't worry, I'm not selling you. Let's do it, Alex. Let's do it.
Once arriving at KEH, I met up with my new homie, Alex. And this place was magical. Shelves with cameras for days. And yes, I cried. Alex had to crack open a box of Lomo 800 and let that glorious aroma just waft into my nostrils to pull me off the floor. I'm not sure what you thought KEH would look like inside, but I was surprised how crazy massive this place was. I mean, it does make sense. They have a lot of cameras, so naturally they need a big facility to house them all. And it's still growing. But the cream of the crop and the bee in my barbecue was the camera vault. I met up with the CEO, John, and he was kind enough to let me gaze upon the craziest collection of cameras I have ever seen to date. I mean, everything was there. Several special edition Leica M bodies only few have ever dared to Google. There was a gold SX70, several Alpas, limited edition Nikons, and a black Contax G2. Did you even know that shit existed? I never thought I wanted one of those cameras, but just seeing it all blacked out like that, I want one now. I have to have one. They even had a blue and piss yellow Bessa just like I have. Guess I'm not doing too bad. And the weirdest one they had was actually a Minolta. Good for you, Minolta. Finally getting a seat at the table. But undoubtedly, one of the coolest Leicas they had among their collection was the Lenny Kravitz camera. Now, I've never been an animal hide type of guy, but that snake skin never looked so hot. The camera is very beautiful. I think I want one too. I want them all. Once I overstayed my welcome, I said goodbye to the KEH crew. Honestly, I could have stayed for hours longer, but I didn't want to subject them to me once again crying from total happiness. It was better that I leave with my dignity. No one needs to see that from a grown man.
Well, it doesn't look like we're gonna get any shooting in today. That's a bummer. Okay, I don't really want to do this at all, but if I don't do it tonight, then I just won't do it. I guarantee it. But I saw some really awesome neon lights, so I think I have to just go out and shoot, because the rest of the week it's just going to be so chock full and so busy. It's now or never. Well, I'm out. I did it. It's cold. I didn't do it long. I didn't do it maybe justice, but I did it. So I'm gonna go and get out of the cold, and drink some wine, and then probably pass out because it's going on 11:11 here. Make a wish. My guess is that's the hole, because it's not really a hole.
That next day would be more than a treat. I found myself at a massive abandoned football field, accompanied by my new friend Alex from KEH. I mean, I couldn't go in alone. That's just not smart. Stepping foot into this giant stadium felt like I was stepping foot into the semifinals for photography. And I had the camera and the film stock to win it all. So let's shoot some Lomo. This first shot works really well as an establishing image to this location. And the stadium is framed nicely by the dark stairs and the luscious trees. So most times I try to avoid graffiti, but this time is actually kind of perfect for trying this new film. Because the graffiti has vibrant colors, you can see how this film renders them. Now let's just hope there's no spray painted penises anywhere. Who am I kidding? There's always one. One really cool thing about this place is all the possible compositions due to the natural contrast of light and shadow. I feel like there was a really nice shot around every corner. This place is totally making up for yesterday's lame rainy day. I guess sometimes you need a little rain to make the sunshine brighter. Damn, that's one inspirational quote right there. Modern day philosopher. Overall, I think Lomo's new Color 95 film does a fantastic job with the greens. This last shot on the roll is another one of my favorites, framing the stadium very nicely. And overall, from this entire roll of film, I barely color corrected any of these shots. It just shows the power of the film. I think this film kind of has an expired look, but with nice colors as well. Unlike most stocks you just let lie around out of the refrigerator for 30 years. Retrochrome. But since I wasn't done exploring, I needed to put another roll of film in my camera. And to keep with the expired vibe, I decided to pop in some sexy Retrochrome. Retrochrome would give these next slew of shots a different characteristic to what we just saw a few frames earlier. Also, for this roll, I decided to screw on Alex's 28mm Voigtlander lens for a different perspective. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Yes, the Bessa doesn't have frame lines for 28mm. But if you imagine hard enough, one can achieve anything. Or you can just roughly use the entire viewfinder as a guide. You know, whichever one works for you.
Okay. Yeah, that's a no for sure. I mean, obviously someone went in here, but I ain't that someone.
One thing that I really dig about Retrochrome is the warm tones that you get from your highlights. It just makes me feel, I don't know, warm and fuzzy. Wow, I really dig the colors in this photo. And it's all framed by darkness. Pretty solid.
Yeah, I guess we weren't the only ones thinking that we wanted to get in there. All those bikers back there are doing the same thing.
Now, after winning the photo game, we decided more coffee was needed in our lives. So we went to Chrome Yellow, and damn, let me tell you what, this place had some of the best coffee ever, hands down. And not to mention, look at this mug. It's awesome. Their logo is totally on fleek. I don't use those words lightly.
That's the vibe.
Ooh.
Okay, so we just had DOS barbecue, and I have to say, it was so good. Ugh, it was so good. The pork ribs, 10 out of 10, would eat again. Way better than Fox Bros. Sorry, Fox, you just didn't do it for me.
So,
Yeah.
if you're in the area, DOS. Faux show.
It's the move.
Exactly, it's the move.
As the sun was saying hello goodbye to both Alex and I, we needed to part ways. My feet were tired from, well, being a lazy piece of shit. And Alex had a long drive home. It was so awesome to get to know and hang out with a fellow photographer. He was so gracious with his time, and I had a ton of fun shooting with a new buddy. Now, to circle back to the beginning about the Lomo stock, one thing that I failed to mention, and one of my favorite things about the company, besides Lomo 800, is that when they introduce a new film, they almost always have it come out in medium format as well. So I must say, I'll be pleased as a pickle to get my hands on some of this film in 120. And I bet you can expect that same cool saturated expired look with a little bit less grain and that medium format sharpness. Not to mention, the name of this film is like super solid. LomoChrome 92? I mean, come on, how cool. I feel like that name just captures the look of this film perfectly.
Oh, last night was a late night. I got to the apartment at around like probably 4:40 in the morning. It was crazy. Yeah, it was a lot. I'm tired. I'm very tired, but I'm heading to the airport now, so that's
And
it.
just as I had foreseen it, the rest of my week was completely insane. I didn't even pretend to take another photo. I mean, it would just be too cruel to my camera. So at the end of the week, I departed. Overall, I had a ton of fun in Atlanta, and I would totally go back to see more, especially that camera vault. Thanks again to Alex and Luca and John from KEH, and a massive special thanks to Birgit and the Lomo team. I'm so excited there's a new color film on the market that holds its own, and more. Okay, well that will do it for me today. Go out and shoot. Goodbye!